if you look back down the esoteric traditions of the West, you find that blood has always been considered as a very important vehicle of the spirit. It is a sacred substance that contains more than the physical life of each person, but also the spiritual life.
Even an extraordinary man can do unusual things.
Quick. Looks good. All right, I'm ready at your leisure.
All right, I'm ready. Welcome to the Trashcats Trashcast. I'm Richard.
Sorry, one more.
Ready at my leisure, he says.
But I didn't want you to have the upper hand. I was being I was being very alpha, okay? I gave you
I'm sorry, you're right.
One more.
You know, you'd think as the Sigma, I should have called that out and known.
And gone your own way.
Yeah, exactly. Welcome to the Welcome to the Trashcats Trashcast. I'm Richard.
I'm Steven. And today, we're talking about forbidden and forgotten knowledge. The occult heart festering in the chest of American politics. The sacrilegious symptoms of spiritual sickness that spoils and soils our shit world. Today, we're talking about Maga magic.
It's a real Houdini surprise, you know, like, first there's no shit in the diaper and now there's shit in the diaper.
Abracadabra.
Abracadabra.
We're doing, I came across an interesting video recently by a creator I like quite a bit, and we're going to review her video essay, and it essentially is comparing the MAGA movement and modern politics to the occult nature that often, and to a surprising degree, is inspiring and has become quite a influential, not ideology, but compass to a lot of these powerful people. So like people look back on Hitler all the time, and his influences by the occult affected his political trajectory quite a bit. They affected his beliefs and thus how he chose to rule, his inspirations and goals, and we see a lot of very similar things. People are kind of blind to it because it has the Christian tint to it, or it's not as explicitly occult. But a lot of people in power positions are very influenced by very odd, forbidden, and rejected knowledge. And we're going to go into a little bit of a deep dive of that today.
Yeah, have you seen this video before?
Yeah. Yep.
Okay, cool. This is just new for me.
Yep.
Cool, fun.
It's a fun one.
Nice.
Like, did you see that interview with Peter Thiel recently?
No.
You know Peter Thiel, though.
Of course, I know. Yeah. I know PDT.
Yeah, PDT, Mr. Palantir himself. He did an interview recently that I'll have to insert clip here, but he was asked essentially if it's good for people to be alive.
You would prefer the human race to endure, right? You're hesitating.
Yeah, well,
yes?
I don't know. I would
This is a long hesitation. This is a long hesitation.
There's so many questions implicit in this.
And he couldn't answer straight. Like, he has so many odd beliefs that the point is the philosophy of many of these people in politics is a lot stranger than it may appear to be on the surface. And a lot of that, as I said, is kind of forgotten about because of the evangelical Christian fascist face of it all. But there's some weird shit leading these people.
Well, that's going to be a riot. Before we get into it, Stephen, how was your week?
My week's okay. I did have, so that if it's not already clear, if you're new to the show somehow, I hate Maga more than anyone, right?
Yeah. That's a pretty bold claim. There's a lot of people that really hate MAGA.
I don't think there's anyone that hates him more than me. And if they say they do, they're goddamn lying. Okay, but there is one place I go semi-regularly that makes me feel more Republican than anywhere else. Can you guess?
I'm thinking. Actually, yeah. Let me. I was just gonna say. Let me guess. Okay. Is it a place that most people go?
No.
Okay.
A small percentage of population.
A small percentage of the population goes to this place. Is it a local specific place, or is it a place that every city has?
Most major cities do have it.
Okay.
At least a couple. It's a place that you've heard me whine about before. Also.
Okay. What's the most Libby crazy place I can think of?
I don't like coffee shops much, but this is far worse than any mere coffee shop.
I think I'm stumped here. What you got?
The Suboxone Clinic.
Okay. You know what? I almost said that, and then I thought, I don't know, maybe. Okay, yeah.
This is the type of place, when I walk in, I lose all empathy, and I suddenly hate poor people, okay? This is the place that makes me feel like Pier Teal from my ivory tower looking down at all the scumbags trying to use the phone to buy dope and losing shit all the time. Addicts love to lose things. It's just a...
They love it. They love it. They can't live without it.
Bro, pencils...
They can't get enough of this.
If there's one thing they love almost as much as heroin, it's losing their possessions.
God damn.
Bro, this place is just so bad. And it truly is, like, I feel like, here's the thing. I do feel very caring, and they are scumbags, and they're my scumbags. Like, they're my people, okay?
Uh-huh.
But there's still, like, the underlying human thing of, like, many of these people are so fucking rude. Where even at my lowest, I could never be as rude and obnoxious as half the people there. And I feel very, like, torn between feeling like these are people with similar struggles to myself that I care about, and between that and torn between I, at any terrible time in my life, could never be this fucking disgusting. It's a real civil war happening in my brain the whole time.
I get, not in that specific example, but in general, the idea of, like, listen, we've all had bad days, but never even on my worst day I could possibly imagine could I see myself doing the things, saying the things to service people that I hear people say, or hear people, you know, saying crazy shit. It's like, I've never, the outlandish things that people do sometimes, and it's like, okay, this is more than a bad day situation. You're a bad person to a certain extent.
It's a lifestyle thing. And the real answer is, like, just like any other group of people, because addicts just are every group of people. Like, it doesn't...
right.
There's some dumb saying.
It doesn't discriminate.
Yeah, it's just normal, different people. But to be in a waiting room of a doctor and listen to trap music on your broken cell phone speaker is outrageous.
Out loud.
Out
God
loud.
Damn.
With fucking What's that show with Steve Harvey? Fuck Steve Harvey. What's that show he does?
Family Feud?
Yeah, Family Feud in the background. Like 3 different people listening to music on their broken phones. People losing pens and pencils. And, you know, once a day somebody nods out and paramedics. It's just like it's like a circus, dude. And like half the
What a
people,
high stress environment to work in.
Yeah, honestly, it just makes me really angry. Because I used to be there, you know, 3-4 days a week or whatever. Now I'm there once every other month. And it makes me so anxious now. Like, it's actually, like, fairly upsetting and the easiest place for me to get drugs. Where, like, I don't think about that nearly as much these days. But I know I'm always going to be going to a place where I can get shit super easy. You know what I mean?
Yeah, which is insane.
Yeah.
Of, like, that's the place you're going to get off of it. And then to have such easy access there is...
Made a lot of money there, though.
I believe that.
I paid for my treatment, okay? one way or another. But I'm okay, though. It was chill. Week's been okay.
You got to sell the drugs so that you don't do the drugs.
There's truth to it.
Yeah.
How's your week?
Actually, it's been a pretty fucking good one.
Yeah.
My week has been... So, Stephen... I don't know if you could tell by the sound of my voice, but you are talking to a changed man.
You sound much more hydrated this week. I'll give you that.
I'm not that. I realized yesterday I didn't have anything besides coffee all day long. But
last week you were fucking throat cancer. You had rich throat cancer. It was very nice. But you truly reminded me of my neighbor at my first apartment who had throat cancer.
Sick.
She was a older lesbian, and we would just chain smoke in her apartment when she had throat cancer. She was very sweet, but your voice sounded, it was a good sound, but you sound much more hydrated and silky smooth this week.
Yeah, maybe by comparison, I guess that makes sense, but I'm definitely not hydrated. I'm actually been pretty bad about the water in the last,
dried up over here.
Yeah, I'm all dried up. You know, there's water in coffee. It's like the main ingredient. First of all, therapy's going great. Right now, depression is at an all-time low, and not a high.
Good.
Depression is on the low.
You're escaping the matrix.
Yeah, I'm doing good. I'm actively doing a decent job at a regular routine workout schedule.
Nice.
I'm doing well in I'm sleeping better. I'm getting to bed earlier, waking up earlier. I'm getting more routine with that. Just adjusting to different hours at work that I know during the summer next year is going to be brutal. I'm working on these popsicles so that everything's going Gucci and gravy, and I'm getting stuff done. I realized I was kind of struggling with something, and then I thought, this is only my third try going at this, and I nailed it. So it's not even that.
What's the update? I'm curious about the pickle pops and to see if we've made any ground on honey pops.
Not direct honey pops, but I did. I forget if I told you about this one already, but it was a honey pistachio pop.
See, get the fuck out of here. That sounds delicious, dude.
It's and as I'm putting it together, I'm like, oh yeah, that sounds really good. And I'm kind of pouring it in, and someone's like, oh, like baklava.
Yes.
Yes. This is exactly what I'm talking about. It's very good. That one needs a little tweaking. Mostly because the first round I put too much pistachio in. And to do it on a large scale would be incredibly expensive. So I gotta work on that. But I got the good ones for me.
Every Christmas, my sister makes baklava, and I very much look forward to it every year.
That's the thing I'm going to have to make my niece make at least once.
Yes.
I already told her it's we were looking at videos, it's a process. It's a whole thing.
It is.
But I want good baklava, and it's hard to find.
Yeah.
Unless you know someone who knows someone, or you're going you got a good pastry hookup or something, but most places don't make straight baklava. At least that I know of around here. Mm-hmm. So I want that in my life. Pickle pop is I perfected it today.
Really?
So we tried one store brand of the pickle brine just to see how it was on the first go, kind of learn from it. And then we tried a different brand's pickle brine, like a local one, because the thought was like, oh, let's do a collab with them. Let's do a little something with them to get, see if they want to, we'll just make a bunch, we'll drop them off, see what they think. If they want to do something that we can put their logo on our thing and kind of cross promote, it'd be cool. I didn't like the brine. As a man who makes his own pickles on a regular basis, not like cucumber pickle, but I pickle all kinds of shit. I have a few different styles of brine that I like. I don't like it to be too white vinegar. I like apple cider vinegar in there. I like a little kind of tart to it. I'm peculiar about my pickle.
So they didn't make the cut.
They didn't make the cut. Well, at least not yet. The other problem was getting dill to suspend in a liquid without it, because it takes a minute to freeze. Like, we have a thing that does it quicker, but it doesn't do it instantly. So getting it to suspend within the pop is difficult with a lot of things, but especially with, light things, solid things that are in liquids. Sure. So the process is okay, one, how do we get it to not do that? Two, how do we get better color in this pop? And I realized both of those solutions are the same thing, to completely, make a paste from the dill. Just completely throughout it. I wanted.
Does that concentrate the green?
Yes.
Yeah.
So it's pickle colored. It's pickle taste. The dill is ever present.
Bro.
I made my own brine. I brought in all my own seasonings.
You could get this is a down the line idea, but you could make custom molds that are pickle shaped too. With the bumps.
We absolutely could. I know it's not going to be the best seller, but I think specifically for our local markets, for our thing, I don't foresee this being, maybe when we get into retail, maybe that could be a thing.
People
we're not going to go out. That's not, that's not our main seller. Let's get them hooked in with the butter pecan. Let's get them, with the cherry lime. We'll get them hooked in with the ginger, ginger lime ones. Those kind of things are or I'm working on a brown sugar cold brew. I got all these ones in the works.
I want to talk about this in depth another time, because I'd be curious. We've talked about it before, but I'm curious how you're managing your recipes, because I feel as your your arsenal is growing, you should have very good organization of your secrets, the 13 spices or whatever, Colonel Sanders style.
That's always the last step for me. It's I'm going through this thing right now where I'm a very analog man. I like a piece of paper and a pencil.
Give me a copy notebooks. Of a notebook, bro. We need high OPSEC, okay?
So we have all these digital tools and places, and I have to, no matter what, we have a costing calculator basically that has all of the ingredients we use for anything, all in a big list. I can plug it in the recipe and it tells you how much it costs to make, however many of the thing you're making. That's the final version. When it's in there, it's for real. That's the recipe. That means we're making it. So there's a few steps before it gets there. And I've been tasked with trying to be better about digitally uploading and sharing the recipes to the rest of the staff, as I should. I'm just not super good at it. I have one of those clipboards that's got the container, the box clipboard.
I swear to God, though, even if it's just your final digital versions, save all of those in a drive independently of work.
Oh, absolutely. I have everything. I have all of that. I have, printed out sheets. I have cheat sheets all over the place. I'll never lose those. Also, they're embedded in my head.
That's what all chefs say. I don't always
have specific recipes for like most of the food that I make, but I remember how to make it. And it might not be exactly the same to you, but it's going to be the effect that I want.
This is the scary talk. This is where chefs just are out of their goddamn gourd. Okay, my mom, well, same thing. She'll know the general direction, and it'll be good each time. But if you lose a single step, a single brushstroke of the art masterpiece, the whole vision is askew. Okay, we need hard copies.
I'll tell you right now, the piece of magic that you're sensing in a recipe when you taste something and you're like, oh, I really like that because of this note, this thing I'm getting, whether it's the heat that spice level it's at, or the after I've swallowed it, the kind of residual flavor I have in my mouth, that kind of thing. If it doesn't strike the person who made it, it doesn't matter.
I disagree. I think chefs are delusional. They get lost. They get lost in their own sauce. They've had it too many times. I think a refined palate with occasional tasting may often have a more accurate read on a chef's repeat dish that they are tasting often.
You know, I don't disagree with that. That there is certainly a thing with like you're eating the same thing all the time.
Yeah.
And you get sick. Like most restaurants, it's within months of having a menu that you just like, I've tasted everything on here from start to finish in the production line. I know what it tastes like. I know what it smells like. I hate going home smelling like this food. I do not want to fucking eat it.
Yeah.
Which is why a lot of like nicer restaurants that have, you know, a chef, usually it's a chef owner situation, will have rotating menus where like they can scrap everything. And this like, we don't do that shit anymore. That was last season. We don't do that shit anymore.
Yeah.
And that's when you have that ability to do that, it's a blessing. It's a blessing and a curse because people do like to go back and order the same fucking thing they got last time, which is fine. But when you're in that situation and you're going to a place that is driven by a chef, that should be the reason you're going there for. To trust that they made me a fantastic meal last time. I know I'm going to find something I like there this time.
I disagree. I care about consistency. I don't want to know anything about the goddamn
and it can be consistent
in the kitchen who makes my food. They don't matter. All that matters is the dish being the exact same as last time.
If it's the same thing every time,
that's all I want.
It can be anybody. It can be anybody back there.
But I feel
just like throwing together the same thing of like, okay, take this scoop of this and then this much of this and then that much of that. And that's cool and that's fine. And there's nothing wrong with that.
That's how it should be.
But if you want a chef, you want the chef's touch.
But that's fine dining. We're talking about repeat popsicles or like things that, Yeah, I know. We're having fun. Speaking of which, let me distract. Some fucking loser 20-year-old surfer kid working the counter at UDF told me to have a blessed day.
Well, a surfer kid in the middle of the Midwest.
Yeah, one of those kids that has like the really long, like broccoli haircuts, but like bleach blonde, had his silver crucifix, and it's like, bro, do you see who you're working with? The other 4 people there are all like chicks with like Wiccan tattoos and like crazy shit that hate him, of course. And everyone at this UDF is thugged out or just like hates life. And he's making trying. A point. He was making a stand, dude. He's like looking at me. Have a blessed day.
He should have in that moment said, "Fuck your God."
I know. I said,
and all who stand for him.
Out of reflex, I did the "Hey, you too," and then I stopped myself. I caught myself, and I did the like dog head tilt. Like, what the fuck just happened? Like, I didn't catch it fast enough. But now I have a new battle. Okay, I like having enemies out in the world. Okay, because I'm gonna see this kid often. And now I gotta start a little conflict with him. I'm gonna make his shifts a little bit harder each day.
Mm-hmm.
So that's fun.
Just get a little belligerent about, how fast
I will.
he rang up your soda and candy bar, and then get upset, maybe okay, nothing like harmful.
Hey, I hope you have a blessed day. How could my day be blessed when God has cursed me? When God has cursed... Just be really shitty.
Just get really in his head. Just, I
each time
always
you bless
forget about
me,
this.
I go to my car and curse you. Okay, don't tell me.
Yeah. So for every blessing you've given me, I've cursed you.
You've been double cursed.
I hope you consider that.
I cursed 2 other people behind me in line.
Yeah. Yeah. For every time you bless me, I curse 3 people. The solution I forgot about for a while, but honestly, it really, if we go back to it, it's one of the best things you can do. Just to kind of, it's not, you're not harming anyone. You're not, really, you're not destroying their life, but you just get a little jelly and you put it on the inside of their car handle.
Who has
you put
jelly?
It on something that they touch.
This is 2 weeks in a row you've mentioned jelly.
Did I last week?
You sure did. And you mentioned it the episode before that. You're 3 in a row on jelly, bro.
I can't possibly believe that to be true.
In fact, I don't know if you've ever talked about anything except jelly.
That's always, boys always thinking about jelly.
Do you remember the end of Shutter Island?
Yes.
You're the confused detective on the Dementia Island right now.
Oh, no. This has been a sting operation this whole time. It turns out you've been my therapist all along.
Operation Jelly Handle was a success. Fuck. All right, we got
Operation Jelly Handles is definitely the name of the episode.
All right, should we do this?
Yeah. Let's get into it.
All right. Quick intro. I hate when people do that performative cough, and I just did it.
But you do it every time.
I just did it, and I wanted to fucking kill myself. Holy shit.
just
today,
walk out in the traffic.
Today we're reviewing a video essay by @BlondePolitics on YouTube. Be careful, though. She is Australian. Okay, just a little warning.
No, Stephen, you didn't tell me that ahead of time.
Yeah, there's an adjustment period. I'll put it that way politely. The video is titled Maga Magik. Highly recommend checking out her other work as well. She does some really good, in-depth little video essays. She's really good. And also big shouts out to the Peace Corps. The Trashcats support your endeavors. They know. If you know, you know. I think that's enough said. Let's get into it.
All right.
Maga Magik by BlondePolitics, a.k.a. The Silly Serious. Start at 0000.
Mm-hmm.
And on your count, my liege.
Okay. That's so fucking stupid.
Be careful pressing the space bar, because I know with all that jelly on your fingers, it might get slippy over there.
I can't take my hand off of it. It's stuck to it now.
We've talked about it.
I go through so many paper towels.
King Sandwich.
King Sandwich?
Do you know this?
No.
It's not a king, it was some earl or whatever. He invented the sandwich because he was sick.
Okay, yeah.
But I think his name was
the
Sandwich.
Duke of Sandwich.
Yeah, some dumb shit like that. But that's you with jelly and YouTube.
That's fucking hilarious.
All right, on your count.
You have to go back now through. You have to go back now through the last 3 episodes and find
all
each instance of me mentioning jelly, and clip them all in here right now.
We'll get there.
You did that for yourself. You're just going to cut all this out. All right. 3, 2, 1, go.
I've been reading too many people fighting and arguing about stupid shit to the point where I'm starting to develop theories, and I don't want to.
I'd shut down the FBI Hoover building, on day one and reopening the next day
Joey
as
R.
a museum of the deep state.
Who
Cash
actually
Patty.
runs the government?
Not who you think it is.
Here's the thing. A lot of
Chris
people come
Williams
to
and
Washington
Tulsi G.
and they just play the game. And it's you punch their ticket and get along to go along.
She killed
Pete
her dog
H.
and bragged about it in her book. The prosecutors will be prosecuted, the bad ones. The investigators
the
will
bitch
be
Bondi.
investigated. Because
Christy
the deep
No.
state, last term for President Trump, they
Misspeak.
were hiding in the shadows. But now they have a spotlight on them.
People need to start trusting the experts, right?
There are many strange ideas that influence the Trump administration and the tech oligarchy.
It's like anybody takes them seriously is crazy.
Pause. All right, we gotta go back. All right, I just want to state off the bat, what a breath of fresh air after those insane, crazy, fucked people.
Time stop.
Yeah. 53 seconds.
Gotcha.
What a breath of fresh air. Holy shit to see. Blonde politics. Very poised. Good setup. Very professional. Clean, good look. Just so nice after all those MAGA losers. Holy shit. The insanity they spout is at a staggering degree every time they speak. And I just... Hearing those little compilation clips of them... Sorry, we'll resume this here in a sec at the start of our monologue. I just wonder, how many of these people do you think I could get one to go through?
Ooh.
Could we clear all eight?
Well, you know,
all eight?
are they shoulder to shoulder or back to fronts?
Get creative.
Oh man, I think shoulder to shoulder you might lose some air time. Back to front, especially if you can kind of get them to put their heads together all at once. You might get more. I guess it doesn't also have to go through the head. It can go body, right?
I care about headshots.
Okay. Well, you're going to lose some, the
Zombie
skull on front and back. If you could get eyes, they're all different heights. I was going to say, if you get eyes directly through, that's only one layer of skull to go through.
It depends on velocity and fuck, dude. I hate these people.
We got to get the Mythbusters in on this one.
And I know we just started this video, but real quick, I think everyone knows what a human centipede is these days, right?
Oh, for sure. You know what? That might be an old head thing now. That might not be.
The kids are hip.
I think it's one of those, like, they've heard of it, but it's not necessarily the craze that it used to be.
Yeah, but a lot of people know what it is.
Because that was when we were young, right?
But I don't think, this is a little reveal, I don't think many people know that I actually created the concept of the human centipede 3 years before the first movie dropped.
It's true.
And I'm sick and tired of my torture tech getting jacked. So I do have a new method I could drop right here and right now.
Ooh.
If we want.
Care to share?
I do care. All right, we'll get it on record. All right, here's the move. If you need to torture multiple people simultaneously.
Okay.
First move, X crucifixion pose. Picture Elon Musk doing one of his sweet X jumps, right?
Yeah, gotcha.
Screen grab it. Okay? We have him frozen in midair. Now, you take the X crucifixion posed person, bind to a metal frame. You following?
Okay, yep.
So the goal is to torture a bunch of people simultaneously. So we got them bound, exposed. Now, in metal frame. So they're almost like a pane of glass. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I get you.
Now, you set those up, spaced 3 to 5 feet apart, like a line of dominoes, okay?
Okay.
Most dispensable target at the front of the line, and most valuable in the back. Now, facing the line of targets, and you may need to experiment with distance here. I'll be honest, that part's key. I don't have it dialed in quite yet.
Yep.
You know what you have in front of them?
I don't know what's even.
Gatling.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Now, if you can't find or afford a Gatling in this economy or something else belt fed, a series of A with banana clips can make do in a pinch. With banana clips, the trick is you duct tape multiple clips together, staggered, so you can do the flip in, flip out really quick and keep them rolling.
Now, a quick insert here, Stephen. Are these mounted to a type of stabilizing surface or device? Or are these handheld? Sure. Are these man-handled devices?
Say, if you're down on your luck, you just get a school desk or any other piece of furniture. Get some hose clamps, zip them tight. You can find a way to brace. You got to brace, though. You can't not brace.
Hey, now, listen, honestly, here's a pro tip.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong. Home Depot politics, there's a whole thing. But their Black Friday sales go pretty hard, and they do it for the entire month of November. You can get you some good tie down, some good clamps, some good, ratchet straps and whatnot.
You remember the
Vegas? Pretty good deal.
You remember the Vegas shoot?
Yes.
The one man to do it right,
Yes, I remember. I recall.
He had good technique. Okay. Vegas, but you have him in a line of dominoes, right? Now, the goal here is to really prolong the ordeal. So, to start out, you want to go, you really want to capitalize on the shock and awe. So you kind of go full out on the full auto for like the first 100. Okay.
Yep.
Just to really get into that first fella. And then you can assess how much Swiss cheese damage is dealt down range. Now,
true.
Depending on the distance, type, and bone strength, you might already have some pretty big holes opening up. But I like to think, this is just me, I like to think about the bone fragments that slowly turn into additional penetrating farther down the line as the person in back is slowly feeling their fate splatter closer to them. That's just me, though. Before you get too carried away, you're really going to want to cool it down and switch to single shots and really savory passing through the Swiss cheese holes, like target practice. Now, I think this is the perfect time to smoke a cigarette. Switch up your timing. Keep them on your toes until you just can't edge any longer. And then right as you ejaculate, the last empties the pudding from their brain. And that's how you get rid of...
Go ahead.
And that's how you get rid of the...
There you go.
Yeah.
I think you're right. I think there is some testing to be done, for the sake of, of knowing for sure, especially with like the bit with the bone fragments becoming more projectiles.
Isn't that beautiful?
I think it is beautiful. I would really like to see, I think we really need to get Adam Savage and
Jamie.
Jamie, from Mythbusters. I really think we need to get them in on this. It's their due time for a return.
I just like the idea of seeing a sternal bone puncture some dude's lung 4 bodies down. I mean, come on.
I think you're right. I think the distance definitely makes a difference. So I guess I was picturing like warehouse size facility. They're each 10 meters from each other.
I love the creativity.
But I think to get that kind of velocity going with the inner pieces, they're going to need to be a lot closer. So I think you're right. There's work to be done. I love the vision, love the creativity.
Thank you.
I think there's something there.
You know what? I really like this video already.
Can I tell you? Can I while we're off on this aside? Can I give you when you said that you had a new something that to rival even maybe this human centipede situation. The first thing I thought of, you ever seen those costumes where it's usually something like one person
seen costumes.
It's usually one person dressed up like multiple people, and they'll have like bars that are like they use to like control all the people at once, all the puppets and whatnot. That but real, where a bar of some type of with a sharp edge, ideally maybe for efficiency, is driven through the arms of multiple individuals.
What are you, the puppet master over here?
That's I'm just saying, like that would be excruciating. And honestly, you could really do, you can make videos, you can make content with it.
That would be funny to do.
It would prolong
puppetry.
The experience,
like to be one of those comedians. But it's some dude you have on life support.
Listen, you said it, and I was thinking it the whole time, but I wasn't.
I
wasn't trying to bring him up today because you know how heated I get. But Jeff Dunham would be one of the first people online.
Oh yeah.
He's gotten away with too much for too long.
I want to do ventriloquism with Jeff Dunham.
yeah.
But ventriloquism with Jeff Dunham.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Yes, I 100% know what you mean.
Wink.
I think that the joke about puppets is, you're putting your hand up their ass, but let's be real. The line from ass to hand, you really got to go shoulder deep in that sumbitch to get your hand all the way up to be controlling the mouth. So, you may have to get creative with, creating a new orifice.
You need a shortcut, like in Mario
Kart.
Exactly. When
in the back, something to get a little closer in, so you still have your range of your shoulder. Like that's important.
Normally, the shortcuts are behind waterfalls, and it gets you there like 1/3 quicker.
And there's also usually treasure.
Yes.
All of this is horrible. Is horribly condemning.
Nah.
No, we're good. Listen, you know what? We're already considered to be terrorists. I guess I don't know.
Bro, did you see the president of our country say Democrats should be executed today?
Oh my god!
Just straight up. And in my head, I just heard Eminem's "The Way I Am" start playing. I said, "Oh yeah, Mr. President, I'll be the terrorist then." And then I put my boombox on my shoulder and I marched downtown. Straight to the Suboxone Clinic where I judged the pores.
Oh, goddamn.
And in my notebook, I wrote about torturing people. And then I got out a laptop and recorded. And
what's the point of having creative ideas if you're not sharing them with the public? You can't gatekeep this kind of stuff.
True. And 53 seconds? 3, 2, 1.
People, we need to stop trusting the experts.
Further. We missed everything. Let's go back. 40 seconds.
40 seconds.
We'll go to 4. Yeah.
Okay.
3, 2, 1.
The investigators will be investigated because the deep state, last term for President Trump, they were hiding in the shadows, but now they have a spotlight on them.
People, we need to stop trusting the experts, right?
There are many strange ideas that influence the Trump administration and the tech oligarchy and their network states. That's just one of them. On the other side of that coin is something that is maybe stranger, if you believe that that is possible. So strange that it's been really hard for me to work out a meaningful way to talk about it. I'm talking about the thinking that is related to Steve Bannon,
Stevie
what
B.
motivated the Gen 6s, the true believers who think that God selected Donald Trump to save America.
They actually believe that.
I think he's been sent from above.
I believe he is a gift from God that's trying to save our country.
This thinking, it's not
Jesus Christ.
religious necessarily, but it is kind of esoteric. And the
That's
best
just embarrassing.
concept that I have found to help me understand it is the occult. Don't click away. Please just give me 2 minutes. 2 minutes to explain what I mean before you just dismiss this out of hand, because I'm not using that word to conjure ideas of conspiracy or evil or anything like that. Historically, the occult has been understood as rejected knowledge. Things that we once believed and respected, but over time, as science has progressed, they've fallen out of fashion, and our society just doesn't really endorse them anymore.
So she's clearly using the occult as a lens for the type of magical with a K type thinking, or the ideological drives behind movements in politics. And at first I felt a bit skeptical. But by the end of this video, she really won me over. And I've had this this ongoing kind of dialogue with myself about, like, how could you expect a Republican to, or whatever, a MAGA loser, whatever, someone you disagree with to ever change when they're dumb enough to believe in God?
Yeah.
Right? Like, are world conflicts such as Israel-Palestine, is that political or is it a religious feud? And different people argue different, aspects of whatever. And how much of Trump being a gift from God to save how truly are the spiritual religious beliefs affecting the politics, or vice versa? Mm-hmm. And I think a lot of times it gets kind of confusing because these people are hypocrites too. It's like there's more of I feel like there's more cultural Christianity happening than actual, like, true faithful religious beliefs, where I don't know how much the religious ideal the person is upholding is actually affecting their political beliefs. Mm-hmm. Like, I feel like abortion is something that is a bit of the exception, but how many of the Christians that defend abortion or like being illegal, like, truly believe it for religious reasons?
Right.
Like, there are multiple things happening. Like, yeah, there are the true believers, but there also is a like transparent layer of, like, spiritual confusion used to, like,
if enough people that they respected, whether from their religion or not, said, actually, abortion is okay because of this.
With it's
okay with Christianity. Exactly. Then they would not all be so gung-ho about it.
There is something more than, like, 70% of the nation, 60 whatever to 70% is Christian, but these people, a very small percentage of them are, like, true believers, or, like, even that religious. There is something more cultural happening,
right?
And
they do it because their family did it, and because that's what's considered to be right by so many of the people around them. That if you're not if you're not at least, like, wearing a cross and telling people to have a blessed day, then you're not doing right. Even if
then you're probably drinking adrenochrome from babies,
right?
Yeah, because you're a democrat, whatever.
Yeah.
But no, I think you're getting the vibe I'm trying to put down better than I'm explaining. But people like, whether like a Rasmussen to Hitler, like, people with very esoteric and strange spiritual or occult beliefs that they're heavily invested in
Mm-hmm.
are able to very insidiously manipulate culture that is already primed for these things. Does that make sense?
Yes. The example I think of the most easily is flat Earth stuff, where there's a certain point of it's not about being correct. It's about feeling like you know something that everyone else doesn't know, or
it's the forbidden knowledge,
or that everyone else has like been tricked into believing elsewise, you know. But you know better. You're on top of something. You're part of something bigger than they understand. That's what it is. It's not about being right. Because anytime you correct and you show like, actually, I have data and evidence that supports all of these things to be true, and they say, well, that's just what, you know, the Democrats made that, or like that's they're, you know, it's like that's all that is. It's not there's going to be some other, you know, imaginary goal line to get around whatever it is, depending on what they feel in the moment, or whatever someone else is telling them to believe in that moment.
Yeah, and people like political figures, like a Trump who wants to drain the swamp, or like, you know, indulges in QAnon conspiracy or Pizzagate conspiracy, like in a culture that is primed for forbidden, hidden, rejected knowledge and has the base layers of insanity, delusional, mentally ill beliefs. They are so primed to take on the spiritual warfare of snake oil salesmen and hustlers, basically. But she'll touch, like, I think flat Earth is a form of occult belief.
Oh, for sure.
Modern day. Yeah.
Historically, the occult has been understood as rejected knowledge. Things that we once believed and respected, but over time, as science has progressed, they've fallen out of fashion, and our society just doesn't really endorse them anymore. Obviously, there have been periods where a lot of things fell out of fashion, like the scientific revolution. But the thing about this rejected knowledge is, despite being disproven, despite most people moving on to other forms of knowledge, some of these ideas hang on. They retain a following. You probably encounter numerous kinds of rejected knowledge in your day-to-day life. Astrology, homeopathy, Ayurveda, conspiracy theories, feng shui, crystals, heavy metals, Dianetics, acupuncture. I could go on.
So modern occult examples, she lists astrology, homeopathy, Ayurveda, conspiracy theories, feng shui, crystals, heavy metals, Dianetics. That's a fun one. Acupuncture. There are things that can be learned and made useful from just about all of those to some extent or another. But to truly believe or put faith in any of these is dumb as fuck. Some rejected knowledge is rejected for a reason. A while back, I started to say that being atheist or agnostic is not acceptable in the current environment. We must be rejectionist. Religious belief is unacceptable. As so are these spiritual beliefs, these forms of occult knowledge. Now, I will kind of separate, like, there are people in my life that I like that experiment with magic with the K or occult spiritual stuff. I think that's fine. There are, like, artistic, spiritual, or just like interesting things to learn about yourself or the world through these concepts. But to truly have faith in them is no different than religion, except it is far less structured. But I don't think they should ever truly be entertained. And I think ultimately they should be dismantled. Astrology should be dismantled. Homeopathy, Ayurveda, fuck these things. And we must reject the spiritual sickness in all of its insidious forms. And, Yeah, I feel like very strongly about that, and I get kind of divided because I feel like lame people go to religion, and then like cool people tend to fall into some of the follies of like the more abstract spiritual stuff. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah, no, I definitely agree with that.
And it's like we have to pull them out of that too. Like it's a more chaotic, like fun, structureless version of faith in something that also isn't real.
Yeah.
Yeah. Way she goes.
Fucking way she goes.
Crystals, heavy metals, Dianetics, acupuncture, I could go on. But what often accompanies these beliefs is a rejection of the prevalent authorities and the institutions of the day, and a rejection of the empirical methods that they use to validate their findings, because in their mind, only one can be right. Let's start with the man that led me down this very dark and twisted rabbit hole, RFK Jr. How on earth did this man end up as the Secretary of Health when he believes so many unscientific things?
My dude hates science.
He really does.
I do believe that autism does come from vaccines. They're going to have the right to compel unwanted medical interventions on us. The Nazis did that in the camps. COVID-19 is targeted to attack Caucasians and black people.
They're putting in
absolutely insane.
5G to harvest our data and control our behavior.
Things that we know based on empirical testing are not true. He believes vaccines cause autism. Antidepressants cause mass shootings. Fluoride.
This dude lies about these quotes like so often too. He'll deny he says all this shit.
Absolutely insane.
There's like 20 years of speaking conferences of recordings of him saying, like over and over again. And he'll sworn in a courtroom lie he's never said it.
He believes vaccines cause autism. Antidepressants cause mass shootings. Fluoride in the water causes lower IQ and brittle bones. Chemicals in our food are responsible for gender confusion. Seed oils cause obesity. AIDS is caused by poppers at raves. And Wi-Fi is destroying our mitochondria and giving us all cancer. All of the beliefs that I have listed require a rejection of modern science in order to believe, or just a flat-out rejection of modernity. A belief that things were simpler in the past, they were better then. But when you reject the empirical evidence and institutions that support scientific development, you are forced to reject a bunch of other things too. When you go to the part of the world where people who love to drink raw milk are, you will start to hear a lot of other weird ideas. In that pile of rejected knowledge, things amalgamate, because the institution that rejected my idea also rejected this idea. So maybe I should give this idea a second chance. Your yoga group suddenly starts questioning the efficacy of vaccines, and then your anti-vax group starts to question the moon landing. And before you know it, your circle is talking about the deep state.
Donald Trump, our United States president, is a massive and powerful light worker. The information that I am providing today is coming from the Galactic Federation of Light. That's what the humans call them.
Any skepticism towards one idea might force you to apply the same questioning attitude to your own beliefs. So these ideas start reinforcing one another, even though most of the time they have very little to do with one another. And the goals of the people who endorse the different projects tend to be very different. All of these ideas that have failed to gain or maintain mainstream recognition come together to create this taboo irrationalism that in a historical context is understood as the occult. The occult then creates a kind of counter-establishment, a more singular thought pattern that wants to rebel against the status quo and become a home for the alienated. Anyone who doesn't feel represented by the establishment or the established social order may look to this alternative and turn to rejected knowledge to validate their denunciation of the mainstream.
She's true and base pilled.
She truly is.
A lot of poor people who find the Make America Great Again, rejection of progress slogan appealing, they're vulnerable to these kinds of beliefs. They don't want to face their own powerlessness. They don't want to believe that this is just happening to them. So they turn to these alternative knowledge spaces to have a sense of control, to believe that there is some divine purpose or that a miracle will happen that will fix everything. But there is another category of people who tend to dabble in the occult or have a preference for rejected knowledge, the rich and the bored. The issues of the everyday man don't affect them. There's little in their life that can affect them because, well, they're wealthy, which actually can make life a little bit boring. In order to feel important and interesting, they want to pretend that they are part of some bohemian underground intelligentsia. And of course they want to believe that they are greater and more powerful and more in control than modern science insists that they are. Just an average human like everybody else. When there is a lot of political disillusionment and institutional distrust, members of this counter-establishment can force their way into mainstream politics. That can be through creating a new party or reshaping an existing party. Ultimately, it's whatever is the path of least resistance. Politics, based on rejected knowledge, does tend to have a religious complexion. Advocates claim that they have ideals much greater than the day-to-day concerns of the state. Forget social services or infrastructure. They have spiritual sounding goals like salvation and redemption. This is an illuminated politics.
You talk about the country. You believe you have more to do.
Yep.
You weren't done. You were spared for a reason.
Pause.
Well, God believes that, I guess.
Damn, they got my boy Dr. Phil in here.
This concept of illuminated politics, I feel like, is such a good crystallization of the last 5 to 10 years of politics. I think what it all boils down to is these people feel like their spinal cord is reinforced with the Holy Spirit, okay? They have God on their side. God is good. That presupposes all things they are fighting for are good because God wants it. Man's law pales in comparison to God's law. Modern Republicans do not give a fuck about law and order. The laws do not matter. Real law is God's law, and God's law is written onto the heart of his followers. They are illuminated by God, and that presupposes all of their other beliefs. It encompasses all of their other beliefs. All that matters is that God is on their side.
Yeah.
And anything they're fighting for is thus right and good. They cannot be wrong because God is always good and right by nature. It is like a toddler saying like, no, my dad said it's true. And how can you convince someone not to vote for Trump when they're dumb enough to believe in God? It's like, I keep going back to that because it is like, I feel like it's one of the biggest problems if I buy into the maybe more of it's cultural than truly spiritual, I feel like there's more of opportunity for attack. But in total, it feels like their political beliefs are so intertwined with faith that it's hard to disentangle. There is no logic, debate, or compromise. They are mentally and spiritually sick. And without spiritual change, their political beliefs will never change.
True.
We must kill their God if we want to change their votes.
You know, and I think I really enjoy the way she pointed out that she described this process of where, you know, where it kind of starts to take, like, not just where it takes seed, but where it takes root and really starts to grow. You know, you kind of, maybe you have questions about, you know, like her example was raw milk.
Yeah.
And you're like, so you surround yourself with some other people, you know, meet some more people that also, you know, they're all about the raw milk or whatever. And then that's their thing. And then a couple of them are into, you know, believing this other, that, you know, the adrenochrome shit or whatever. And you're like, oh, maybe, you know, I agree with them on this thing. What's this about? Like, I respect their opinion on this already.
Yeah.
What's this about? So then you fall down that rabbit hole, and then it's like, okay, then that turns into, you know, just more of the same shit, just deeper and deeper into it. And before you know it, like it went from like raw milk probably isn't that bad for you versus turning into, you know, oh, everyone's a lizard people except the people I like because they're here to to stop the lizard people, even though they haven't done anything to stop the lizard people.
Yeah. And it actually, it sucks on the opposite end of that too, because let's say you're arguing with someone and you find out like, oh, they're arguing that the raw milk is just fine. And to be clear, I don't know if it's bad all the time, but it's like not a wise thing on a mass scale to trade and sell raw milk. Very obviously, it shouldn't be that difficult or whatever. But you're arguing with somebody and you want to discredit them because they have other crazy beliefs, like they believe in lizard people or Jewish space lasers or the Holocaust wasn't real, shit like that. And it sucks because those things, in a way, aren't evidence. I'm not explaining it well. Do you know what I mean? Where there's like a thing of like, just because they believe other crazy shit doesn't disprove what they're arguing for.
Yes, exactly.
Like on a strictly logical base, like that, those are separate things. That doesn't affect their argument for milk. But
right, you can get to the same conclusion as somebody else also by this isn't exactly what you're saying, but I think it's relevant to what you're saying of like, okay, I think you and I would both say that like, oh, we should stop religious interference with politics.
Yes,
and then
there's a test for that called the lemon test. By the way, it's real.
Technically, you would be agreeing. Like I saw locally lately, there was a big protest out in the Dearborn, which is a high Islamic population, and so there's all these people that are doing the like keep stopping the Islamification of America, and it's like okay.
I agree with them, but for the wrong reasons. They
exactly,
suck. Yeah,
exactly,
like, holy shit! I don't want Sharia law either, but
it's like I'm not. And the funniest part of that, there've been so much different coverage of that, where they're like the people that are like doing it are like passing by multiple like nativity scenes and like Christian setups, and they're trying to this is like it might as well be Iraq, this might as well be the Middle East we're over here, and it's like they have all these churches and shit that they're walking by, and it's like it's absolutely insane.
Get your mosque away from my church.
Yeah, exactly. It's not just get rid of the religious in general. It's trading one for the other, and it's like why? How are we? I can't support you because of the reasoning that you got around to this craziness. I technically agree with you, but also I disagree with so many. I disagree with all of your reasons for it.
And I know you also know that. I agree with you, and I know you also know this, but I think it's almost. I think it's not said enough. Even if we did agree for different reasoning, what the agreement would look like for you versus what it would look like for them would be very different. Now,
yes.
I ran into this a discussion with someone a little while back. What is happening is not old school racism. Like they're only, not all MAGA Republicans are Nazis, but all Nazis are voting MAGA, right? Like that is A equals B, whatever thing. But a lot of what is happening with ICE, border control abuse, all that shit, a lot of it isn't like old school racism. It's a new form of xenophobia. Like a lot of the leaders of these MAGA groups or America First, Boogaloo, all the different like white supremacy quote unquote groups are not just white people, okay? It's a lot of mixed and non-white people too. What matters more is you're with us or against us. You're part of us or you're the other. And I was watching a Vice video recently about the English Defense League, I think, the EDL, I think. But it's a group in Britain of white people trying to keep Islam out of England, right? And it's the same thing you said. I might agree with what they quote unquote want, but the reasons are so different that I find them just as deplorable as the religious influence that is being imported in their country. But I don't hate them ethnically, which these people obviously do. All of their language makes it very clear, and how they would want to change it would be nothing like how we would want to change it. Like the thoughts behind the beliefs behind the change matters a lot.
Yeah, it really does, because it forms. It's with change there has to be follow through.
Yeah.
And
new norms and what is acceptable now, or what. Like
it's like, okay, they want to stop the Islamification of Michigan, of America or whatever, in place of, protecting and making America, trying to make America a Christian nation. And it's like, that's absolutely counterproductive to anything that I want.
But if I was a Dearborn, let's say, because it is different for countries, like Britain, France, because it is overwhelmed. Like, they have immigration the way that Republicans whine about it being here, like where it is like a pretty substantial and changing culture. If I was like leading Dearborn and I had a lot of control, I would want to let everyone in, but I would want people to renounce their faith. Like, if I could control America's borders today, it would be anyone's in. I want to know who's coming in, and I want certain things such as religious belief to be denounced, knowing that you can't ultimately like force that. But I would absolutely want to eradicate their religious beliefs as much as possible. But their ethnic background, where they're from, what they look like, none of that matters. Like, they should be welcome. But the religious trash part of culture absolutely should not.
Yeah.
You talk about the country. You believe you have more to do. You weren't done. You were spared for a reason.
Well, God believes that, I guess. We'll have to see.
Trump has frequently said that he believes in the power of positive thinking.
Think of yourself as a winner.
Fucking idiot.
The power of positive thinking.
Sitting there with no scar on his ear. Go fuck yourself.
If he meant an optimistic outlook on life, I'd be right on board. But he means something a little bit more serious than that. When talking about the people who've shaped him as a person, Trump only ever names two people: his late father and his Reverend, Norman Vincent Peale.
You know, the greatest speaker I think I've ever witnessed was Dr. Norman Vincent Peale. And he would speak the power of positive thinking.
Trump started attending Peale's sermons as a child in the 1950s.
Positive thinking, like, brain fucked so many people.
Yeah.
And remained a devoted parishioner for more than 50 years, marrying two of his wives in Peale's church. This isn't casual, tick it off the list church attendance.
Prosperity
Trump
gospel, motherfuckers.
Likes this church, and he likes this reverend. And it was in this church, through this reverend, that Donald Trump was introduced to the power of positive thinking. The power of positive thinking comes from something called...
popularized by The Secret.
Yep.
New Thought. New Thought is a religious movement that started in America in the early 19th century and basically created a bunch of spiritual Frankenstein's monsters. It all started with a man named Phineas Quimby, who convinced people that he could heal them.
Fucking Quimby, bro.
Never trust a man named Quimby.
Never.
Using something called mind power. New Thought endorses the idea
Never would be me.
that your mind directly influences reality. Not the whole attitude is everything, perspective is everything shtick. No, you can think things into being, that you can make things happen with the power of your mind alone.
In any moment, your life can re-begin itself with a new thought.
I believe that our words have creative power, and they start with thoughts.
God said, let us make man in our image and likeness. What was the intention? That we would create with the words of our mouth.
It gave us the freedom to use our mind, to use our thought, to allow the creative power within us to create a new life.
Because we know our thoughts have power.
We create with the words of our mouth an atmosphere that either attracts God or it causes God not to be drawn into our situation.
All of these people are still very much Christian. The proverb, as a man thinketh in his heart, so is he, is heavily stretched to mean that every person's creative mind has the same creative force as God.
I think so good world change.
these ideas started in relation to health, and we definitely still see them there today, but soon they evolved into a focus on self-improvement and material abundance. So what started with a random clockmaker,
fucking Quimby, bro,
Phineas Quimby, resulted in Christian Science, the prosperity gospel.
Prosperity.
I've always been your debt freedom.
Damn. And the power of positive thinking.
Dr. Norman Vincent Peale, from many years ago, wrote a book, The Power of Positive Thinking.
That book was very influential. Mm-hmm. A lot of people, normies, have read that book.
In that book, he says that any fact facing us, however difficult, even seemingly hopeless, is not so important as our attitude toward that fact. Confident and optimistic thought pattern can modify or overcome the fact altogether.
God, he's a little
These are the
demon,
instructions that Peale gives to his followers.
Yep.
And I think they actually also provide an alternative framing for Trump's consistent and outrageous lies. Have we ever considered that Trump might be manifesting?
We're going to win so much, you may even get tired of winning. Nobody else can do it like me. Nobody even understands it but me.
Nobody knows debt better than me.
Nobody builds walls better than me.
Nobody knows much more about technology than I do.
Nobody knows the system better than me.
Nobody in the history of this country has ever known.
Trump is a manifester. He is a manifest destiny type loser.
Yeah.
Like him and Steve Bannon. Bannon especially is very occult. He has said quite a few things in the past that have really let on to some of his more esoteric beliefs. But Trump is all about speaking it into existence, positive thinking. Like, he has accomplished quite a bit from that. And it's frustrating because I think there are like things to be learned from that. Like I believe in the will. I believe in aspects of manifestation. Like you can make things happen by believing in it, but the belief itself is not. It should never be believed in. That sounds dumb, but does that make sense?
Yeah, kinda. I think I get what you're putting down.
Manifest destiny.
Try me again.
Okay. Here's an example.
Mm-hmm.
Many fighters, whether it's like historical figures, like guys on the battlefield, warriors, or what I think is like a more easy to understand example, like modern UFC fighters. Many of the dudes that believe in God or have strong faith and shitty religious tattoos are often, not always, but they're often some of the more vicious fighters because they are so reinforced and delusionally empowered. I could be mistaken, but I'm pretty sure that is a notable part of Mike Tyson's story. Like these people, Conor McGregor for sure, like there are a lot of John Jones, like these guys that they are so egotistical and narcissistic. They believe God has like invested interest in their fighting career, right? They are delusional to such an extent that it actually manifests positively in their careers in combat. And in some in quotes worlds, such as combat, despite how stupid and dumb it is, faith often helps fighters achieve things that they may not have been able to godless. Now, the average religious believer sees this as an all positive, right? Like their faith in battle is what brings them strength. And I would argue that this is a sickness and a vulnerability. It is a wound of weakness that could be exploited, despite that it may often be beneficial in some extreme circumstances. Like people who believe they're delusional or have a gift or power from God may be able to exploit that for their benefit, regardless of them being wrong. I see that as the same is what manifesting destiny is. Like, Trump has spoke so much into existence that no one would have believed was possible 15, 20 years ago. When Obama was laughing at him in that speech before he ran, you know, that Trump took those laughs at him to heart and was able to manifest a lot. That there is power in that. And I think it's worth acknowledging power in will and in manifesting or positive thinking, whatever. But there should never be trust in the faith of it, if that tracks.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. I absolutely believe in that, yes.
Yeah. There's something there. Like, delusions can be helpful, even if they're wrong still.
Yeah. Yeah, no. I could not have said that better myself.
Well, thank you.
Nobody knows the system better than me.
Nobody in the history of this country has ever known so much about infrastructure as Donald Trump. There's nobody bigger or better at the military than I am.
I know more about grass than any human being, I think, anywhere in the world. Nobody's ever had crowds like this. Nobody ever.
I know more formulas. I know words. I have the best words.
Speaking it into existence,
for
man.
this kind of thing.
Yeah.
I understand things. I comprehend very well. Better than
fucking idiot.
I think almost anybody.
I'm not saying he's manifesting as in it is working, because I am saying that when Trump says all of these crazy things, maybe his motivation is more spiritual.
Yeah. It inspires people to have faith in him.
Yeah, exactly.
When Trump told his press secretary to announce that his Inauguration Day crowd was the largest audience to ever witness an inauguration, period, both in person and around the globe, was he lying? Or did he think he was affirming?
And he does it by instinct. It's not like strategical.
I think it's important to understand because of the relationship between different kinds of rejected knowledge. I told you how it cross-contaminates and how strong belief in one thing makes you more susceptible to another. So if Donald Trump truly believes in the power of positive thinking, he is susceptible to other far more dangerous forms of rejected knowledge. Well, no spoilers, but there is a very scary piece of rejected knowledge that exists close to the White House, and it is coming at him from a lot of different angles.
Like penises at a glory hole. Dumb ideas come to Trump at every angle.
But let me show you the connection between these two ideas using another group who are at the forefront of culture right now. Men. The power of positive thinking is not some special tool used exclusively by Trump. You don't need me to tell you that. In America, it's everywhere. The law of attraction, The Secret, affirmations, manifestation, how to win friends and influence people. The self-help industry is bigger than it has ever been. And recently, it got a whole new audience. As men face a growing number of challenges in society, whether it be in relationships or economic hardship or education struggles, or mental health concerns, the self-help industry has not skipped a beat in delivering young men some questionable reassurance.
God, young men are dumb, huh?
Yep, ain't that the fucking truth?
Something that will give them the illusion of control, that will make them feel like they have an understanding of how the world works. A cultural home outside of the establishment that they feel has abandoned them. The manosphere
Red
and
pill,
related
baby.
masculinity influencer content.
Alpha. Big dogs gotta eat. Roof.
Only big dogs eat.
And related masculinity influencer content is extremely solution-oriented. And one of the big solutions that they push, positive thinking, manifestation, and the law of attraction.
Right now, in this very moment, you have the power to change your life. You are the creator of your reality.
Manifesting. It's real, guys.
I believe that
John Jones.
that you can speak things into existence.
I talked
Fucking
about
loser.
the law of attraction. If you can see it here, and you have the courage enough to speak it,
Listen to that disgusting Irish jabber.
it will happen.
The biggest lesson I learned from the Tates is that you are in control of your own mind.
Sneak
the power of hypnotizing yourself.
Loser.
You make everybody else accept your version of reality. You see a version of yourself inside of your mind, and when other people do not see it when they look at you, you bend space-time and change
the way
your
fucking
Lord of the Rings projection, your avatar, so others view you exactly the way you see yourself.
You could create enough of a visualization for yourself if you really were to powerfully start to focus on it and do that and build that ability to visualize something that your brain at one point would have to think it's so true that the world would meet you and put it into your life.
That's average young male beliefs.
Yeah, it's fucked.
Theo Vaughn's been such a disappointment.
Yeah, that's really upsetting.
These ideas tend to exist in a space alongside the more accepted pursuits of masculine culture, the gym, professional sports, but they also cross-contaminate with some more questionable knowledge. There's the avoiding of ultra-processed foods.
People have been arrested and just locked up for having whole milk.
The demonization of feminism.
Well, I'm an independent. I don't need no man because I have an OnlyFans and men pay my OnlyFans. And if anyone comes up to me, I'll call a male police officer. I don't need men. Shut up.
Conspiracy theories.
Tell 'em,
All
Tate.
of these are far more damaging, but we can see how going to the gym has become synonymous with some more fringe ideas and conservatism more generally, which is a rejection of modernity.
But sometimes I look up, I feel there's like a thing. I don't know what it is, bro. I don't think it's gay or anything. I think it just feel like the space is looking back at me.
It's fucking Crash Tyson sitting there all like, what the fuck should I say to that?
There is something much more sinister that is percolating in this space, and it is a type of right-wing thought that is conservative, but not one that wants to go back to the 1950s, one that wants to go back to the Bronze Age. It was once said that every staffer in the Trump White House had read Bronze Age Mindset, a book written pseudonymously by Bronze Age pervert, often referred to affectionately on platforms such as X as BAP. Now, even if this is an exaggeration, the book and its ideas have so many high-profile supporters.
But Politico, I think, does not do justice to the actual genius. I mean, I think it's actually quite brilliant, much of Bronze Age mindset. And as much as I disagree with a lot of it, and I think a lot of it is offensive and terrible and gross, you can't deny that it's incredibly well-structured and well-written.
First off, I just want to put this out there ahead of time. Bronze Age mindset and this aesthetic of Roman gladiator statues, very popular with young men, right? They want to
crazy.
They want to be medieval, aristocratic warriors for God. I just would like to point out it is so fucking gay. It is beta loser version aesthetic. Okay, it is the most beta loser shit, and the idea that the Trump administration is having everyone in their staff read this stupid beta bullshit by Bronze Age mindset is insane. The idea of embrace tradition, reject modernity, loser type dudes, they're so scared of the present time that they fantasize about being in Rome constantly. They fantasize about being in the medieval times because they're so scared of the present moment. It's like the Passport Bros. Like, are you familiar?
Passport Bros? No.
Oh man, you haven't got into the red pill, bro. You're not even awake to the truth.
I think it's pretty funny as they're showing all these different people in the video, and you're like you know this cast of characters.
There's not a
I know
single
some of them.
There's not a single person in this video I don't know, and I've probably watched. I doubt there's anyone in this video I haven't watched more than 10 hours of.
That's wild.
Easy. I know.
You're poisoning yourself, but I understand why.
You know who's my favorite though?
Who's your favorite?
Andrew Tate. Dude,
he is wild. Dude
gets a bad rap though for a rapist pedophile, okay? Here's the thing I like about Tate. He is more genuine than 99% of the other people in this video. He knows he's a piece of garbage. He knows he's a scammer. And he's like just willing to hustle and lie and steal his way to the top. He is not like a lot of the other people that are pretending. Like, he is more disgusting than most by far.
He sucks and he knows he sucks.
Yeah, but he's doing a thing consciously. Like, he does not believe most of what he says. He believes in getting money and hedonism. And he like has a exterior of something completely different, right?
Yeah, he's willing to sacrifice his personal image for the sake of
money and rape. Don't get me wrong. He's going right in front of the Gatling for sure.
Yeah, for sure.
But I can appreciate the hustle more than a lot of these other figures.
You truly do appreciate the
honesty.
An honesty to oneself.
Yes.
Yeah, it's perspective in the way of like he's not being honest to other people, but he knows what he wants.
Yeah, I appreciate that way more than a Bronze Age mindset or here's a litmus test. I appreciate Steve Bannon more than Roger Stone. Steve Bannon is out here saying Trump's running a third campaign. We're winning the presidency again. Fuck the law. Fuck the Constitution. We're doing what I'm saying we're doing. We're manifesting it. Nothing matters. We will win. We are champions. Roger Stone is out there trying to cut like deals in smoky rooms and lying about what he's saying. You know, I appreciate the boldness of like, you know what I mean?
Yeah. You know, for that matter, I think, I mean, points away from Tate in that regard of like, he's not saying outright what he feels and what that's his priority. It is clearly his priority, and he's doing things that are out in the open, but he does hide it behind a certain verbiage and whatnot that he does try to portray it to be something else.
I agree, but I will say most people have really only heard him in clips. He, in long form, he is shockingly honest about how much of what he is saying is for a clip or for a response or effect. And not that he isn't often lying, but he often has a lot of truth intertwined where you could get various different impressions of something depending on what you heard. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It just came out yesterday. I haven't read the full story yet, but Trump's involvement in getting his charges dropped, there's a lot more to that story that's going to come out too.
Cool, fun.
Going to be interesting. He's still wanted for charges in Romania and I think England, not positive, but he's still got charges coming. Or like,
hey, Trump loves a fellow rapist. He's all about it,
dude. If there's one thing rapists love almost as much as raping, it's other rapists.
Yeah, you know, it's the classic line: game, respect, game. You know,
that's a brutal quote. That's so good. Definitely going in the blackmail file under the rape subcategory. All right, let's see what Ben Shapiro has to say.
Oh boy, I can't wait, Stephen.
Ben Shabino, 1519. 3, 2, 1.
You can't deny that it's incredibly well structured.
I hate that little hat he always
Mainstream right-wing
wears.
commentators like Richard Hanania and Christopher Rufo have both shown admiration for BAP's work. BAP's Twitter account is followed by Vice President of the United States J.D. Vance. Michael Anton, the newly appointed policy director at the State Department, positively reviewed the book for the Claremont Institute after receiving it as a gift from Curtis Yarvin. Darren Beatty, a former Trump aide who got
Peter
fired
Thiel,
for speaking at a white
Curtis
nationalist
Yarvin.
conference, is also a big fan. And while Elon Musk has never tweeted about BAP, I'd bet money that he does before the end of 2026. So what is this book about? What makes it so appealing that so many people have read it? First and foremost, if you are a young man, this book is a fun read because it is written like a 4chan post. It's very crass, it's offensive. And the content can be fun too. There's a lot of discussion around what it means to be hot.
Beautiful and strong. Always be the best and excel over all the rest. The left, which seeks not the deification of mankind or of man, but its debasement into cockroach form.
But that is, of course, all a shield.
Big
so
aura
that
farm,
if anyone
for
asks you, like, oh, why do you like this book? You can just say, oh, it's ironic, it's fun. But privately, you can still take it very seriously. Because of the way the book is written, it's actually kind of hard to explain what it is exactly about. It's like a strange diatribe that simultaneously praises the pre-modern world, specifically Greece, and critiques the modern world, specifically racial and gender equality and evolutionary science, among other things, while also offering some self-help tidbits. And obviously, there is, of course, a lot of talk about what it means to be a real man. Despite writing like a 4chaner and insisting that the book is not philosophy, it is clear that Bab views himself as knowledgeable when it comes to philosophy and theory. In fact, the writing style is what I assume to be a modern play on Nietzsche's writing style.
This is modern occult.
Yeah, absolutely.
Influencing our politics.
He wants Bronze Age pervert to be understood as a Nietzschean, Schopenhauerian, Straussian deconstruction of the modern world. And I know that many fans of Bap, and Bap himself, would strongly reject what I am about to say. But whether intentional or not, he is reproducing the ideas of Julius Evola. Who is Evola? You are not going to like him.
It makes me sad how abused Nietzsche has become. And I feel like he is abused for very good reasons. Like, it makes me sad that the idea of the Übermensch, the concept of becoming God, of being above man, was so hijacked and abused by Nazis that it's become a symbol of something else. Like, it can't even be used purely. Like, the idea of no gods, no masters except thyself is true Übermenschen. To be above man, own God, should be beautiful, but to be so co-opted that the only way the Übermensch can be admired is from a Nazi's point of view is very unfortunate.
Yeah, it's pretty fucked. Because I agree. It's another example of religious people taking things that you and I could agree and believe in and understand and get behind, and then corrupting it to be something of their own. We talked about it a lot with like some of the satanic ideas and stuff.
Yeah.
Like, no, this is our shit. Like you're making this claim that this is your shit. This is not your shit. This is the reason that we feel these ways and we think these ways and we have these ideas is because it's contrarian to the things that you believe that are corrupt and fucked and weird.
Like,
and you're going to claim it and then claim that we're the devils, we're the bad people.
Religion is the philosophy killer, and it spreads in ways that kills philosophy adjacent philosophies it's not related to.
Yeah.
Yeah, it sucks.
Evola was an Italian esoteric philosopher and occultist. Evola is associated with traditionalism, a school of thought that believes that a divine piece of truth, a wisdom about the universe was given to mankind in ancient times.
God's natural law, losers.
And every single religion developed from that truth.
There's no subjective reality because God's natural law is so objective.
Of course.
And modernity caused us to forget the truth, and as a result, we have been plunged into decadence and darkness. Therefore, modernity is the enemy. Luckily, traditionalism, Evola's school of thought, endorses a cyclical view of history, one taken from Hinduism instead of a linear one.
Not the Kali Yuga.
In order to go back, we just have to keep pushing forward. Evola believed that in this time cycle, we were in the last stage, known as Kali Yuga.
Welcome to the Iron Age, the Kali Yuga.
Yeah,
Enjoy
exactly.
it.
Yeah.
Enjoy it.
Well, we were talking about that before, and that's kind of where we're at.
We're in the Iron Age, brother.
We are in Kali Yuga.
And the Hindus were very smart in their idea of, it was the Hindus, right?
Yes, the Hindus, yes.
They came up with this idea that there are certain ages almost unavoidable of civilization.
Right? Correct.
So that they go through these cycles.
Correct.
And Kali Yuga is characterized by violent conflict and the end of the world as we know it. It's kind of similar to the beliefs held by accelerationists who believe that the world is already in the process of collapsing.
You know, there's a massive Hindu temple city being built in the U.S.
Really?
Yeah, I feel like we should boycott it, but for very different reasons than the rest of us.
For very different reasons, yeah.
I just haven't had a chance to hate Hindus much. We need more Hindu hate. That's all I'm saying.
You know, they're coming. Listen, they're coming here to give us that opportunity.
It's kind of similar to the beliefs held by accelerationists who believe that the world is already in the process of collapsing under the weight of its own contradiction. So the best thing to do is to speed it up so it falls apart. Then we can get cracking on starting all over. Evola rose to prominence during World War II.
Fucking dude zooted.
Based.
And he did interface with both Mussolini and Hitler, but he didn't really like either of them because he didn't like their fascism. In his his mind, his fascism was far more pure, much more spiritually based. So in Mussolini's Italy, because the fascism appealed to a populism and religion, he felt that that tainted fascism.
It's like, your religion's fucking up my fascism.
Evola believed in a spiritual caste system. He believed that some people were better than other people, therefore appealing to the masses, fundamentally wrong. Then in Germany, he felt that the Third Reich was too scientific in their racial discrimination, in their Holocaust, because he felt that the issue with victims of the regime should not be one of race or politics.
This fucking meth robot. Just
Did you see that it just dropped like 2 days ago, new scientific evidence on Hitler?
No.
They got some DNA sample that they ran something on that this sounds like a meme. They truly believe him to have had a micro penis. That is like not a joke. I don't know how legit that is, but it's like a big story this week.
It's extremely funny.
Yeah.
Because he felt that the issue with victims of the regime should not be one of race or politics. It's that they were spiritually bad, that their spiritual essence was lesser. And he was obsessed with the idea of the spirit, in particular the warrior spirit. Even after the end of World War II, the defeat of fascism, he tried to bring it back. He was tried in court for advocating for the revival of fascism, but he missed the charge because technically, he was never a member of Mussolini's fascist party. A party he didn't join because they were not fascist enough.
Hitler's DNA reveals Nazi leader likely had syndrome that affects genitals. Researchers. This is from CBS.
Cool. Imagine being the person researching that.
Yeah, right.
What were you looking for and how did you stumble upon that?
Evola wrote a book called Revolt Against the Modern World, in which he diagnoses all of the problems of the modern West. Funnily enough, his complaints are very similar to the right-wing intelligentsia today, in that liberalism has led to the degradation of higher values and ideals in favor of atheism and materialism, mob rule, hedonism, scientism, gender ideology, and race mixing. And if we are going to save civilization, we need to recenter spiritual pursuits. If you read Revolt Against the Modern World by Evola and Bronze Age Mindset by BAP side by side, the influence will be obvious. Like Evola, BAP believes that there is a spiritual caste system, that those who belong to the lower caste, which BAP refers to as bugmen, need to be purified. Members of the lower caste are spoken of with absolute hatred by both writers.
I love that line of spiritual caste system, because that is basically what American Christian nationalists are calling for. They want a spiritual caste system where it doesn't even matter if you're truly a Christian believer, but being culturally Christian would be enough to be at the top or at least second tier of the spiritual caste system. Like they want, whether it's Marxist, socialist, atheist, they want us at the bottom. We're not socialists, but they want people like us, the violent nihilist extremists, at the bottom of the spiritual caste system. They even respect other religious groups more than the non-believers. But everything is based on if you're with us, if you're with our God, if God has written on your heart, you're part of our tier of the caste. And they find various reasons to look down on other layers of the caste system through things like xenophobia or whatever. But it is truly at least a tier system based on where you are spiritually with God. And the line, I forget what it's from. I think it actually goes back to socialist writing, the Bugmen. Are you familiar with that?
I am not.
There's a famous quote, like, you'll own nothing and be happy. But that's like a line Republicans always use to criticize socialist people. The idea that everything would be so shared, no private property, and you'd be grateful for it, right? And they call non-believers and socialists, whatever, the bugmen, because we're like below human and we'd survive off eating bug bars and shit. Like these are all like weird coded language dog whistly things to insults based on ideology or perceived I don't know. Fun stuff, but we are the Bugmen, and we
fun
shall feast on their illuminated corpses.
I'm pretty psyched about that. I've always wanted to be a big bad Beetleborg, and I feel like this is the closest I'm going to get.
We shall.
So I'll take it.
Oh yeah.
Like Evola, Bap believes that there is a spiritual caste system, that those who belong to the lower caste, which Bap refers to as bugmen, need to be purified. Members of the lower caste are spoken of with absolute hatred by both writers. Both have a contempt for Enlightenment values in Christianity. Both believe that the ancient key to human vitality and potential has been lost. Both books open with the author insisting that only superior minds will be able to understand their ideas. And just like Evola, the stock standard fascism is simply too populist and too democratic for Bap, who writes, I believe in fascism, or something worse. I believe in rule by a military caste of men who would be able to guide society toward a morality of eugenics. Something important that I think is worth mentioning is Evola's early preoccupation with an idea that he called the absolute individual. It's kind of similar to Nietzsche's Übermensch. It's basically the idea of a man who has the ability to be whatever he wants to be through the power of his mind and will alone. Eventually, this willpower will become so strong that not only will he be able to change himself, but he will also be able to change the world.
And there is some truth to it. It's just also abused.
Evola wrote, one could envision a gradual process whereby the power of an eye expands from being the power of thought to that of a magical imagination and self-persuasion, to that of persuading others and ultimately persuading and altering reality itself. And that is actually very similar to what Bap is talking about when he talks about the Bronze Age mindset. Ultimately, it all comes back to the power of positive thinking. Another fan of Julius Evola's ideas is Richard Spencer.
My favorite
Hail
Nazi.
Trump! Hail our people! Hail victory!
Jesus Christ.
He's the Nazi punched in the meme.
Oh, cool.
He's the guy I'm always talking about that David Pacman eviscerated.
Infamous alt-right leader who has said that Evola is one of the most interesting men of the 20th century. I don't believe that Richard Spencer has read Julius Evola, but that doesn't really matter because he's bringing him up for a reason.
We're really trying to change the world, and we're going to do that by changing consciousness and changing how people see the world and how they see themselves.
There are sections of the alt-right that honestly believe what they are doing is magic. They are actively engaged in something called chaos magic, which conceptually exists somewhere between witchcraft and pickup artistry.
This is my last rant. I call this my Richard Spencer rant, okay? I say, ironically, he is my favorite Nazi for a couple of reasons. He's not a Nazi anymore, but he's a very interesting guy. He is still a wacko. He's the guy that led the Charlottesville tiki torches where the car killed a chick.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
And he's the one in all the memes of the Nazi being punched in the face. He sounds super gay, and there's been like a bunch of controversies about that. But has always like tried to come off as the strong Hail Victory, Hail Trump, Fourth Reich type guy that led the first... what are they called? Fuck, I just forgot the name. White America movements, whatever. He's a wacko to this day, and he still has better beliefs these days than 95% of Maga. Since his time in the spotlight, he has renounced Trump. He hates Maga. He hates the Republican Party, and has embraced a more central liberalism enough to even publicly advocate for voting for Kamala Harris. He voted for her, and he advocated for his audience to do so. He hates Nick Fuentes. He hates Trump. He hates Tucker Carlson. He hates these people on the right now. That said, he has led a deeply damaging white supremacist movement that has led to Trump's rise to power. And it's so interesting to see these people who helped create Trump, who embraced the magical thinking and enacted his will, and along the way realized that this man was nothing but a lie, there was no loyalty, and that he would betray them. And in no way I joke about him being my favorite. He's very interesting, and there are a lot of like wise interesting, cool things you can pick up from bad people. But his past should not be forgotten. Richard Spencer does not deserve a second political opportunity. That said, he does seem pretty deeply ashamed of what he used to believe, and this has made it a very entertaining watch or witness of his political journey as it unfolds. And of course, just to kind of bring it home, all those weird things that led to those white power movements during the start of Trump, where Richard Spencer is at today, the last I've heard of him, is that he's gotten so far into the occult that he has developed his own esoteric sect of ancient paganism, that he is publishing books of these occult paganist beliefs, similar to Christianity, but from pagan culture. It's like so fucking stupid. The point is, if you're going to watch anything, listen to Be Destroyed by David Pakman, and I don't know where I was going to fucking end that sentence. It got away from me. But he doesn't reserve a redemption arc.
Yeah, I was going to say that there's a certain element of like, okay, you help create this monster.
Yeah.
And then upon seeing the warpath, the monsters, you are not immune to the monster's wrath.
Yes.
The monster is coming for you too. And upon noticing that, saying, "Oh no, I'm sorry, I didn't realize. Let me, I'm sorry. Let me, give me redemption. Give me a chance." And it
should be denied.
I think there is a fairness with which somebody might say, with time maybe, but currently the monster is still on its warpath.
Yes,
this is not the time. You've made the bed and you must lie in it. I
just I don't know what exactly I was trying to express there. It's more like how I just see it as so telling that the leaders of these movements within 5 years are actively fighting against what they created. I just think that's very telling. Like,
yeah.
Someone as diabolical and rotten as the Richard Spencer who is screaming "Hail Victory, Hail Trump," who led those white power movements, militias, to embolden Trump, all these years later, is publicly fighting against his audience to vote for Kamala because he hates what's happened so much. Like, I'm not saying it as a credit to him, but just as a credit to how far things have fallen. And I don't know. It feels like evidence of something.
It's definitely evidence of how easily someone with given a little bit of like podium to stand on can get swept into this massive force that they, or then they're put behind the wheel of something that they're not able to control.
Yeah. And to be fair though, he built the damn podium.
He built the podium, and he's I mean, by the same falling into this, even if I'm gonna give any graciousness, I could say he fell through the same rabbit hole that, she explains earlier in the video of like, it starts with one thing and kind of leads to another thing, and then it kind of gets a little bit deeper and a little bit deeper, and then before you know it, this has become a lot more
consuming
of a thing that you maybe the intention wasn't there. Maybe, you weren't in a position where you should have been giving a leadership position in the first place. And now all these people are following, and now you feel ashamed for yourself. Like, yeah, that sucks maybe, but like that doesn't change anything. That doesn't fix anything. That doesn't solve anything. The problem is still there now.
See, I go back to, I've used it as an example because as time goes by, I'm more angry about my conversation with Pine Creek. But I've gone back to the thing of like, some of the best advocates for anti-theist beliefs, fuck religion beliefs, are people that used to be pretty religious.
Yeah.
I consider myself in that category, but I figured shit out very young compared to most of these people that have made careers of tearing down religion. Where someone like Pine Creek, whatever, I see him, I hate who he is today. His political beliefs suck so fucking much. But on a purely like philosophy level of converting people away from Christianity, he was at the top of the game for a while, right?
Mm-hmm.
But does that compensate for 26 whatever years of promoting, spreading, and acting his faith? You know, like, there are questions. Like, some of the worst people can become the best. There are, like, people that change. And I don't think I was trying to make commentary on that. It literally feels like evidence of a crime. Like, the people leading a movement of hatred now, years later, are ashamed of what they built. It feels like evidence of something.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not speaking good words.
It would be one thing if it was just, one guy. But you do see that, with multiple instances of that, of like people that are going, oh, that's his.
Marjorie Taylor Greene's the latest.
Yeah.
Yeah. She's going to be a very powerful future threat, I believe.
Yeah.
Fuck her. But it is interesting what the double agent role she's fulfilled.
Oh, no, Stephen, don't worry. She actually won't be able to wield any real power in this country because she's a woman.
There's something there.
I'm not serious about that, but
Yes, but the country does dislike women enough that it makes it hard for them to have power positions. But in a weird way, that pendulum is shifting. I feel like we could do a whole episode on that, which would be kind of interesting.
Mm-hmm.
2251.
Chaos magic itself developed in the 1970s during a time where the culture actively rejected the idea that something could be true, or fact, or reality. This period of time was ruled by the idea that symbols and systems don't have meaning. Meaning comes exclusively from belief. Therefore, the truth is whatever you believe. Chaos magic believes that we can use our minds, individually and collectively, to change the world. Reality is a playground. Chaos magic likes to focus on extending what we believe is possible for us to affect. What would it take to nudge the universe in the direction you want it to go?
Trump's a chaos magician.
Yep.
Maybe something as trivial as the image of a frog could change the world forever if enough people believed that it meant something more.
I do believe in subjective
Pepe began
reality.
his life in a 2005 comic book called The Boys Club. By 2010, Pepe was a popular meme. In 2016, Pepe went bad. He started being used on the message board 4chan as a visual way to indicate that something was politically incorrect. Misogyny, fascism, racism, all accompanied by a Pepe.
Pepe numerology is the official language of the Kekistani people. Let it be known.
Pepe was being shared wearing swastikas and saying slurs. The ADL classified Pepe as a hate symbol.
But it's so much
around
more
this
than
time,
that.
Someone noticed a coincidence. In the ancient Egyptian world, the god of chaos and darkness was depicted by a frog named Kek.
The god Kek, who's a frog, as it turns out.
Oh no, I didn't know this.
But the coincidence didn't end there, because Kek was a phrase used in place of LOL by World of Warcraft MPG players.
This is what my whole Elon Musk thing was going to be
This is,
about.
of course, all completely meaningless in reality. Many things are just a coincidence, but this coincidence was given spiritual significance. Pepe became a sigil to these people.
Old people have no idea what's happening on the internet.
It's crazy.
The American dream died online, and the Internet Archive did not even back it up. AI killed our parents and raped our daughters.
That's insane.
An entity created and fed by the devotion of his followers for magical purposes. It is so stupid, I know. And I'm sorry, it gets worse. On the website 4chan, posts are given sequential ID numbers that are hard to predict given the volume of posting. The members of 4chan treat patterns and repetitions in these numbers as auspicious. It's very similar to the way that girls get excited when it's 11/11. Because these numbers were seen as special, people would go out of their way to try and get them. And in 2015, a lot of posts that were trying to get these 4chan angel numbers were posts about Trump or Pepe. One day, someone's post appears with the number 7777777. That's 7 sevens. It doesn't get more auspicious than that. That post said Donald Trump will win the election. So from that day forward,
QAnon was born.
That Donald Trump had been divinely selected by the god of chaos Kek to rule the United States of America. On the 13th of October 2015, Donald Trump retweeted an image of himself depicted as Pepe. 4 months, people in this...
Bro, what is this timeline?
Yeah, exactly. It's insane. It's so crazy.
4chan community tried to manifest harm against Hillary Clinton using the Pepe, and when she fell down at the 9/11 memorial service, they took responsibility. Was it a joke? Well, yes and no. In the same way that BAP is
I remember
joking.
that too.
I'm not joking. In the same way that Trump himself is simultaneously ridiculous and very serious. It doesn't really matter
The powers
though,
of
whether
the
they were
Pepe
joking or not, they were
sigilism.
going out of their way to do the esoteric practice of harnessing the power of intention and mental energy to produce a real-world result. Links between online memes and real-world events are, to these people, interpreted as magic.
Such a powerful mnemonic device.
While the alt-writers on 4chan were doing magic, the people of Frog Twitter were discussing the merits of Baathism. In a very broad sense, Frog Twitter was a collection of people who opposed Hillary Clinton and Bernie Sanders and wanted to change the institutions that supported them. Actual Frog Twitter in the early days was an extremely closed, hierarchical group led by two figures, Frogdad and Mina. They
Almost
discussed
like
all
a
kinds
cult.
of fringe intellectual projects. But once Trump takes office, the nature of Frog Twitter changes dramatically. Some members leave, some are banned from the platform. A schism occurs and a new leader emerges for Frog Twitter. None other than Bronze Age pervert himself.
It's like so degen.
Yeah.
Like they always say, like, the gays are so degenerate. It's like, look what these people do for fun.
That's insane.
Under the reign of BAP, the nature of Frog Twitter completely changes. The original members of Frog Twitter were pushed out, and BAP used the community to promote himself, his book, his ideas, BAPism, and the right-wing esotericism associated with it. Frog Twitter became dominated by e-girls, Trashcats semi-famous posters. It became mainstream. Even Elon Musk was a member of Frog Twitter. The Frog Twitter that started as a more intellectual debate meme rejection of Hillary Clinton morphed into a crypto-fueled e-girl run BAPfest. Why have I given you this incredibly dense history of
It kind of sounds based.
Sounds very goonable, I must say.
The changes we see in Frog Twitter are the same changes we see between the two Trump administrations. The online mind willed the new administration into power, and the greater centering of Evola is a part of his administration. 2014, Steve Bannon,
Rasputin
Donald
himself.
Trump's campaign manager, gave a speech at a Vatican function.
Steve
People who
Bannon
are familiar
is
with
Rasputin.
traditionalism and other forms of right-wing esoteric philosophy were shocked to hear him name drop Julius Evola. He did so while talking about how Vladimir Putin cultivates his personal political power. Bannon said he's got an advisor who harkens back to Julius Evola and different writers of the early 20th century who are really supporters of what's called the traditionalist movement, which
This is what the people that control Trump talk about.
really eventually metastasized into Italian fascism. A lot of people that are traditionalists are attracted to that. I think that people, particularly in certain countries, want to see the sovereignty for their country. They want to see nationalism for their country. We, the Judeo-Christian West, really have to look at what he's talking about as far as traditionalism goes, particularly the sense of where it supports the underpinnings of nationalism. And I happen to think that the individual sovereignty of a country is a good thing and a strong thing.
Look at Japan.
Because I believe
That's
the
what they
world,
always say.
and
Look at
particularly
Japan.
the Judeo-Christian West, is in a crisis. And I believe that, hundreds of years from now when they look back, and we are children of that barbarity, that this will be looked at as almost a new dark age.
It was shocking for someone so close to the President of the United States to name and discuss the ideas of a man like Julius Evola. We also know that in 2018, Bannon had an 8-hour-long meeting with the most famous living supporter of Julius Evola, Alexander Dugin.
We in Russia, we could use postmodernity in order to explain to the
This guy's
West
the real
that
Rasputin.
if any truth is relative, so we have our special Russian truth. That
A special Russian truth.
I'm glad you said it because I was thinking it.
It's a vodka.
That you need to accept
He's a Mario.
as something that maybe is not your truth, even if it's not true. But if the truth is relative,
Alexander Dugin, often referred to as the modern Rasputin, has called for a genuine, true, radical, revolutionary, and consistently fascist fascism. Conservatives do not want change. Traditionalists want lots of change very fast. They want to get the train to jump the tracks. But how do you get the train to jump the tracks? In 2018, Benjamin Teitelbaum interviewed Steve Bannon for his book, War on Eternity. And Teitelbaum was very brave. He asked Bannon point blank if he was a traditionalist. And Bannon's response was coy. It was neither a full-hearted confirmation or a flat-out denial.
Just started masturbating for some reason.
He unzipped his pants. He pulled a Rudy Giuliani on him.
Instead, he hesitated and then said, it depends on what you mean. Teitelbaum is an expert in these more esoteric philosophies, so knowing that Bannon wasn't willing to come out and say it, Teitelbaum listened for clues in what Bannon was saying. At one point during the discussion, Bannon referred to Donald Trump as a man in time, a phrase that Teitelbaum clocked immediately as originating from a more obscure traditionalist text. This phrase comes from a French traditionalist known as Savitri Devi. She is the author of a book called The Lightning and the Sun, and she basically tried to turn the Third Reich into a religion.
Actually, though.
Which she called esoteric Hitlerism. Like all traditionalists, this woman believed that time was cyclical and that violence and aggression would accelerate an age, which would lead to spiritual renewal.
And Bannon's quoting subtext of her books.
But she also believed that certain special individuals could play a role in the process of cycling through an age. And these special people come in three forms: a man in time, a man above time, and a man against time. It is interesting that Bannon would use the phrase a man in time to refer to Trump. They are exterminators without an ideology. They are not aware that they are such
Very
men.
Trumpian.
In fact, they are often not curious or prone to self-reflection. They pursue self-interest with such ruthlessness that they themselves become a harmful force. When asked, Bannon said he wasn't familiar with the work. But when the ideas were explained to him, he did say he found them very interesting. So if we believe Teitelbaum, that Bannon did say this phrase, we have two options.
It was a man in time, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's Machiavellian nature, bro. It's so Trump, and it's so crazy. The man that is puppeting and marching Trump, right? Bannon is ideological, and Trump is a vehicle for these people, like Thiel, Curtis Yarvin, Bannon, all these fucking losers. Trump is not a true believer. He wants different things than these people, but they all are able to pour their will, their magical energy into him to exploit and get what they want. I thought it was interesting that Bannon, clearly has more of an interest and knowledge in the occult, and he's used that to his advantage quite a bit, and I think it does make sense that Trump would be considered to him a man in time, the Machiavellian thing.
A puppet who is individually, he is mostly concerned with taking care of himself, but he can be manipulated.
Yes.
To be weaponized.
Because Bannon truly does have a nationalist vision. Like, he clearly is inspired by esoteric Hitlerism and other ideas of what a strong nation would be. Where Trump, those things matter far less than him feeling loved and being, like, rich and famous and things.
Exactly.
More superficial. So real quick, I just wanted to ask before she gets to her conclusion here. 3 options: a man in time, a man above time, and a man against time. Which would you think of yourself as?
I didn't really get a description of the others.
Take it to mean however you will. Aleister Crowley rules apply.
Both above time. I think sounds romantic in a way of, above time to me sounds like you can pluck this person out from anywhere and put them in any time, and they can adapt. They can make do. They will be helpful, and I feel like that feels.
I think it's you too.
That feels the most like how I feel.
I think so.
The Man Against Time though also sounds it feels because
romantic.
There's a certainness of like whether it's literal of like the literal time moves against or even just like time moves against how as we've argued, like as you get older it seems to move faster, and like
it does.
Everything you do feels like it's it can start to feel like a struggle to keep yourself within that and to be true to yourself without trying to, while still trying to take advantage of like your opportunities in the world. But if I really want to place myself in what I strive to be, at least my rendition, my ideal of man above time, I think is where I
agree.
Where I land.
I like that too. I feel like the man in time. I don't want to be in time. I don't love this time. And as appealing and as romantic as being against the time, a man against time, while it is appealing, what comes to mind, as we said earlier, like the Bronze Age perverts and passport bros, guys that are too scared of the moment to be present, that they're in contradiction with their time. And while I don't feel here or against here, I would prefer to be above it. And like you said, to me, I don't know what it means to these other occult losers, but to me, it brings to mind the idea that in any timeline, I could find myself. And that this is because to people like ourselves, that the external world doesn't truly matter in the way that it is objective. It matters in the sense that it matters as much as we believe it to be. And to be oneself in one's own time is to be valued more than to be in time or against it. We are above time.
There's definitely circumstances in which you pluck you from now, throw you in medieval Europe, and it might be harder to find
yourself.
Who you are. It's such a different place and surroundings and ideas and whatnot. And but your morals would still stay true to
your core.
I think to yourself. Yeah, despite the external stimulus being, slowing your progress of being who you currently are. Well, it would make it more difficult, but it doesn't make it impossible. That's how I would imagine that.
I agree. I think where it gets, and we should pick up this discussion at another time, but where it gets more complicated philosophically is, well, what if we were born in the Bronze Age, and due to medical factor or other things in that time, let's say we were born 30 IQ points lower. Would we truly ever be able to be ourselves in that time if the physical material conditions were different?
I always, just for maximum efficiency, I always keep my processor running 30 IQ points lower than potential. Just mostly for RAM.
Interesting.
Mostly for longevity.
I always just decide to be born with an extra 30 IQ points. That way I can lose them and still be at normal.
That's really good. That's smart.
It is smart. It's pre-smart also.
It's pre-smart.
Some would say even genius.
Damn, why didn't I think of that? I don't got that pre-smart. Because I'm running 30 IQ points lower than I should.
All right, let's finish this.
You don't know my full power.
When asked, Bannon said he wasn't familiar with the work. But when the ideas were explained to him, he did say he found them very interesting. So if we believe
Big Balls
Titlebomb,
Bannon
that Bannon did say this phrase, we have two options.
Always
Continue
keeps
as
his
a mere
balls
coincidence
close to
that
his
the phrase was
chest.
used. Or we can view it as an intentional invocation of a concept used in the foundational text of esoteric Nazism, which claims a person is actively trying to destroy society in the hopes of bringing a new age upon us. Whether or not Trump sees himself as some sort of chaos magician or spiritual warrior,
They truly do.
it doesn't really matter. It is clear that the people around him see him as more than just a politician.
A messiah of sorts.
Without suggesting that any of this is done with any sort of intentionality, this might be why rational approaches to this administration seem to consistently fall short. In the same way that it is difficult to convince an anti-vaxxer that they are putting their child in danger, it is hard to explain to people that Donald Trump will not help them politically. A large section of the American population is engaged in magical thinking, and because his entire administration is justified using a completely different kind of thinking, it is difficult to rationally convince someone that Trump is not acting in the interests of the American people.
True.
His illuminated politics are destructive in a way that we've never really seen before, and we are experiencing our first truly irrational presidency. The only thing that gives me hope is that I know, whether half of America believes it or not, magic is not real. This is me trying to explain the magic trick. Enjoy the Kali Yuga.
We're coming up with the answers for autism. You watch. We're coming up with the answers for other things that normal people, regular people, easy to get along with people wouldn't be able to do. He's got a lot of ideas, and so do I, and we're going to clean them up.
No ordinary man was ever elected president of the United States.
That man fell asleep on himself
And
halfway
that's
through
pretty
that
much
sentence.
true. But even an extraordinary man can do unusual things.
Well, this was
Amen, brother. Amen.
Yeah, this was a wild ride that you've taken me on.
I really liked her last line that magic's not real, and they might not believe it, but I know it to be true.
Yeah, it's I definitely am gonna subscribe to her now. I'm gonna.
She's awesome.
Yeah, great video, great perspective.
She's Pisco's partner. My favorite piss-obsessed lawyer.
I definitely know the name. The name sounds familiar, but I'm not.
He's just a debate god that I'm in his chat all day. No big deal. Do you get? I really like her. She's really good. Do you have any? I feel like she concluded well. Do you have any final thoughts or any words?
No, I mean nothing new. At least it's all
Kali Yuga, baby.
Boy, it's tough out here, man. It is.
Kali Yuga, Kali Bunga.
It's pretty disheartening. For the most part, it's kind of hard.
But is it disheartening?
Boy, it's hard to keep positive sometimes. It's hard to do things like I'm trying to quit vaping right now.
Like put pants on.
Yeah, dude.
But is it is it disheartening if you at least know their magic's not real? I feel like that's positive.
It is. That is positive, but somehow I think my brain sometimes turns that into it's not disheartening. Despite knowing that their magic's not real, the disheartening part is that knowing that the magic's not real, and yet they still subscribe to it.
It doesn't mean it doesn't have power. I feel like you struggle with the hypocrisy more than I do, and I struggle with I was gonna say anger, but I feel like the anger fuels me and it makes you feel more despair. Like I feel like it's actually better for you to be less engaged than it probably is for me in a way.
Yeah, that's it drives me insane to think that you subject yourself
all day, bro.
And it's that to all of these, insane people. I don't get fun from that. I get upset. I get angry, but it's just like I just get so rage filled, and there's no solution to dealing with that I morally agree to, that I am willing to do. So it's better for me,
worded that well,
to just not. I found a new YouTube channel the other day where this beautiful woman who lives in a cottage, a fantasy ass looking cottage, makes breads with her dog.
That makes me want to kill myself.
It's like background noise, ASMR, beautiful woman makes bread.
That's so sad.
Oh, it's fantastic. It's so good for my mental health.
Why would you want to bake bread when you could fight a forever war?
I'm not baking bread. I'm watching a beautiful woman bake bread.
I had a conversation.
And that's one of the greatest things of all time.
Beautiful woman baking beautiful bread.
It's perfect. And she's got she's got a dog and a cat, and I think there's clips where there's like a raven or something that's like outside the cozy cottage. And it's like, all right.
I could not watch 5 minutes of it. I had a conversation.
Oh, it's usually on in the background, and the woman makes it a lot easier to watch.
I couldn't watch it in the background. I had a conversation with my dad the other day about anger, about things, and his reaction to what I said was pretty interesting. But I truly feel like I am willing to fight forever. Like, I find it energizing, but I also don't feel like there's an option not to. Like, if I find something unacceptable, I never want to accept it. Like, I'm willing to die angry. Fuck it.
Yeah, no, I
kill people and have fun.
I get that. There's I feel like growing up I heard a lot of like, you have to make peace with, things you don't agree with. And I feel like to
pet every ferret that bites you type talk.
Yeah. There's a certain degree where, for mild things, sure. I think there is definitely untread water that everyone should expand their horizons, learn to accept
the small things,
certain things where it's like, there might be, I'm trying to think of a good example.
Like you stole a pencil from me.
And not even like a wrong, I mean, like maybe. I'm not even thinking of like someone that wronged you, just like different ideas, different concepts. And it's like, there can be different ideas of an afterlife. Not religion per se, but, what happens after we die? And we have differing opinions. And I don't think that's right. I think it's foolish the way that this person maybe feels this. But you have to come to accept certain things that they have opinions. They're entitled to these opinions. And I think at some point that's true. But there comes a turning point when those opinions become
harmful.
They're more than just opinions.
Yeah.
Half the time, they're not even really opinions. Half the time, it's a coded way to make a statement.
Yeah.
And then,
a modism.
without any facts, without any evidence to support an idea, and then saying, well, it's just my opinion.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, that's not how opinions work. Opinion is green apples. Green apples are tart. That's an opinion.
They're emoting, though. It's an emotional expression of belief. And it often comes with a judgment or a condemnation. And I understand the idea of like letting things be, letting people be. But I still would even argue a non-harmful belief, like a non-directly harmful belief. I think a lot of people similar to us would say like that's okay or acceptable, or we can agree to disagree. It's not affecting my world directly. It's not hurting anyone, and I refuse to accept that.
Like, if it's stuff like, I think, red cars are the coolest cars. And then someone else says, no, blue cars are the coolest cars. Both of these arguments are by people that are insanely inept.
Aesthetics are ethics, and I find that unacceptable. They're wrong, and I will never let them live.
And you'll never let them. You'll die angry about their preference in cars.
They like the wrong color car, and I refuse to accept that.
That's I gotta tell you, Stephen, that is commitment, and I think that's honorable.
I commit to a good bit. What can I say?
I think foolhardy, but I think it's honorable.
I think I'll fight forever, and I'll win.
You'll win as you die angry.
Yeah. All right. I got one conclusion line. Anything else you want to get out?
No, I'm done.
Yeah, we went way the fuck over. All right, conclusion. Her conclusion was excellent. Yours was good. Insights as well. My last line is that the American public is delusional with magical thinking, and all spirituality is irrationality. Maga has managed to abuse rejected occult knowledge and religious illumination to manipulate the public. Nothing will change until we kill their God. Their faith is disease. Magic is not real. It all must be rejected.
Hear ye, fuck their God.
Amen, my liege.
Crucify them all.
Fuck them all, kill them all. Crucify
thanks again for
Christians.
Listening.
Yes.
Thanks again for listening, everybody. Thank you to... Jesus, I fucked that one up. Thanks again for listening, everybody. Thank you to Approaching Human for the use of his music. You can find his work on SoundCloud at Approaching-Human.
Thanks, John.
Make sure to check out the show page at Trashcats on Instagram for news and art from the show. Check out Facebook for the memes.
For the memes, if you're super bored, you can check out my trashy art on Instagram at Sky666. Big stuff on the way. Cool stuff. Cool magical cats are cool friends, and appreciate you guys. You're very, very, very cool. Thank you.
That's going to be all for us today. Stay classy, eat trashy.
Go fast, eat trash. Magic's not real. Bullet gun. ARs or Ks.
Guns.
Bullet gun. ARs or Ks.
Guns.
Bullet gun. ARs or Ks.
Guns.
So you're the dude.
It gave us the freedom to use our mind, to use our thought, to allow the creative power within us to create a new life.